In a triumph for the PlayStation 5, the year 2023 has witnessed the release of games that stand at the pinnacle of gaming excellence. From adrenaline-pumping action to emotionally charged storytelling, these titles represent the zenith of what the PS5 has to offer. So without further ado, let's dive into my list of top 20 best PS5 games that have redefined the very essence of gaming in 2023, with their jaw-dropping visuals to gripping narratives and insane graphics. Kicking off our list at number 1, it is not other than God of War Ragnarok. The sheer scale of the Norse mythology, combined with Kratos' relentless quest, creates an unforgettable gaming experience. God of War Ragnarok had the unenviable job of following up not just one of the best PS5 games, but one of the most beloved PlayStation games ever. And yet somehow the development team at Sony Santa Monica did the unthinkable, and actually surpassed the critically acclaimed God of War 2018 with a sequel that's bigger than its predecessor in practically every way. In this highly polished action-adventure game, you once again play as Kratos, the perennially angry Greek demigod, as he seeks to protect his son Atreus from the wraith of the Norse pantheon, out for revenge. The situation is further complicated by the prophesied end of the world that looms large over the game's epic fantasy storyline. Remarkably impressive both on a technical and gameplay level, God of War Ragnarok combines cinematic storytelling with satisfyingly brutal combat and deeply rewarding exploration. It's a game worthy of the gods. And also free DLC of God of War Ragnarok Valhalla has made this year more exciting.
You sure about that? Pretender God! For the Old Father!
Death can have me when it earns me.
What do you even know of God's word? In your lifetimes, has anyone ever worshipped you? Ever prayed to you? Can you even imagine that kind of love? No! You don't care about anything beyond yourself. Beyond the monster who kills without cause.
Fate only binds you if you let it. Do what is necessary. Not because it is written.
In the hauntingly beautiful realm of Elden Ring, gamers are enthralled by the masterful collaboration between Hidetaka Miyazaki and George R.R. Martin. This open-world masterpiece not only boasts challenging gameplay, but also an intricate lore that keeps players hooked. Elden Ring's biggest draw is its challenging difficulty level that demands near perfection from players. But Elden Ring is about more than just brutally tough boss battles. The game's narrative is obscure but rich in detail for those willing to unravel its mysteries, and with Game of Thrones author George R.R. Martin involved in dreaming up the game's world, it's not surprising there is a nearly bottomless sea of lore to dive into. The real beauty of Elden Ring comes from the high level of freedom it gives players to venture off the beaten path, but also to craft and upgrade a character that suits their preferred playstyle. Yes, you'll die a lot, but you'll always return after each crushing defeat, because the joy of overcoming Elden Ring's toughest obstacles is a feeling that few PS5 games can replicate. That is why it is listed at number 2.
Emboldened by the flame.
Champions! Welcome! A celebration of war! Paragon Festival!
I pray that the guidance of grace abandons you.
Why accept the burden of their grace, or be fooled by the dogmatic ramblings of the fingers? Rise with us, against the Erd Tree.
Never met someone with a taste for barnacle and trust. We'd make good mates, I reckon.
I bid thee, travel the path of the Lord. And once all is done, we shall see each other once more. Now, go forth. Become
Swinging into our third spot is Spider-Man 2, delivering the perfect blend of web-slinging action and a compelling narrative. It retains pretty much everything that was great about its 2018 predecessor, while also building upon the experience in key areas. The biggest new addition is the ability to play as both Peter Parker and Miles Morales, but other significant improvements include new traversal options, a host of fresh combat abilities, a larger open world, and more substantial side content. The highly cinematic main campaign missions are the real show stealer, and see you face off against iconic Spidey villains, such as Kraven the Hunter and Venom. Plus, the combat is as enjoyable as ever, and swinging around the expanded New York City never gets old. There's no doubt about it, Spider-Man 2 is one of the best superhero video games ever made, and an essential play for every single PS5 owner.
Jay, I have another name for you. Kraven. He's here on some kind of hunt.
Know if you need me, I'm just a call away.
You don't know what you took from me.
All Miles talks about is how to be a better Spider-Man. How to help you.
What the hell's going on with Pete?
He's not himself. Go help him.
This was our dream. I'm not going to lose him.
We're going to heal the world.
Breaking the time loop at number 4 is Deathloop. This mind-bending shooter combines slick gameplay with an intriguing plot, offering a fresh take on the genre. Deathloop often favors style over substance, but there's a reason it earned Game of the Year award in 2021. Due to its absolute hoot to play, this first-person shooter is set on a mysterious island stuck in a time loop and challenges you to unravel a murder puzzle in order to break the cycle. You do this by eliminating 7 high-profile targets in a single day, but plotting the ideal assassination plan requires carefully piecing together clues and striking whenever an opportunity presents itself. The game oozes style thanks to its 60s Cold War aesthetic, and its seriously likable 2 main characters will keep you engaged through multiple loops. The duo regularly trade off witty banter, and there's a generally enjoyable comedic streak running through all of Deathloop. The upgrade system is a little too generous, but thanks to its roguelike elements, death has genuine consequences, forcing you to play smart at all times. And with objectives that can be tackled in a variety of ways, Deathloop is a shooter that will make you think before pulling the trigger.
Come on!
Don't hide your true self!
I'll be at the bar!
Huh?
Very impressive.
It's the comeback kid!
Dance with me!
You have no idea what's out there.
Sure I do. Freedom.
Venturing into the charming world of Astro's Playroom at number 5, this 3D platformer that serves as both a showcase of the PS5's next-gen capabilities, as well as a loving tribute to the history of the PlayStation brand, and it's totally free. If you didn't know, Astro's Playroom comes pre-installed on every single PS5 console. And while you might be tempted to skip this free buy, you absolutely should play this nifty little game first, because it's so much more than a throwaway pack-in. Each of the game's 4 levels is a whirlwind of pleasant platforming and enjoyable puzzle solving, and the vibrant graphics bring the lovable character of Astrobot and the playful world they inhabit to life. Plus, the innovative features of the DualSense controller are used to great effect to simulate everything from the feeling of walking across a sandy beach to resistance when pulling back a bowstring. It's a short experience overall, but hunting for collectibles and PlayStation-themed Easter eggs encourages repeat playthroughs. Breaking new ground at number 6 is Retinal. This roguelike, third-person shooter takes players on a surreal journey through a shifting alien landscape. It is the most unique game to come from PlayStation Studios in recent years, not to mention one of the most punishing experiences on PS5. This third-person action game sees you step into the space boots of Celine, an amnestic astronaut who crash lands on an alien world and finds herself stuck in a time loop. The only way to break the cycle is to explore the hostile planet, but be warned the creatures and fauna of this world are seriously hostile. If you die in the wilderness, and you'll be returned back to your crash ship with all your weapons and upgrades stripped away, and with no choice but to start all over again. Fortunately, procedurally generated environments prevent things from becoming too repetitive. You'll need nerves of steel to overcome Retinal's toughest enemy encounters, but each hard-fought victory will spur on as you unravel the game's mirage of mysteries and secrets. Embarking on an epic adventure at number 7 is Horizon Forbidden West, a sequel to the acclaimed Horizon Zero Dawn, which was already a highly compelling open-world action-slash-adventure, and a few tweaks that Forbidden West does make are entirely for the better, building upon what worked and refining various gameplay systems. This sequel sees franchise protagonist Aloy venture to new lands in her quest to discover truths about the old world, and also to prevent the rapid degrading of the planet's biosphere. Once you arrive in the Forbidden West, you'll discover new herds of animalistic robots to battle in surprisingly tactical combat that puts the focus on picking your shots rather than just unloading arrows into your enemies. There are also dozens of side activities and distractions to discover. Not to mention, the game looks absolutely stunning on PS5. You'll likely lose countless hours just drinking in the breathtaking scenery and vistas.
Enough. It's time to finish this.
Warping into the 8th spot is Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. Back in 2021, we labeled as the PS5 game born to play, and even 2 years later it continues to stand as an excellent showcase of the PS5's capabilities. That's primarily because of its rapid load times and strong use of the DualSense controller's haptic feedback, but also because it basically looks like a playable Pixar movie with colorful cartoonish graphics and wonderfully expressive character animations. Rift Apart plays very similar to every other mainline Ratchet & Clank game, but that actually works in the game's favor as the franchise's established formula is so strong. This latest adventure for the spunky Lombax and his robot companion once again sees the pair travel to distant planets, encounter new friends and enemies, and collect a shiny new arsenal of creative weaponry.
And now for a message from your Emperor.
I did it. At long last. The pirates are vanquished. The resistance is broken. And this galaxy is finally mine!
How many times you beat this guy?
What are you doing?
Clearly not enough.
We will stop Nefarious. I know it.
You really think you stand a chance?
You are not my Emperor! This is the part where you lose!
Channeling the Force at number 9 is Star Wars Jedi Survivor, a sequel to the acclaimed Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which had established a solid foundations. The development team at Respawn Entertainment has deftly refined that formula, and in turn crafted arguably the best Star Wars game of the last 2 decades, combining third-person action combat and Metroidvania-level design, with a small sprinkling of elements from the Dark Souls series. It also got an engaging main story, filled with likable characters with sympathetic villains. Its technical performance on PS5 is a little disappointing, but if these issues can be solved in post-launch patches, Star Wars Jedi Survivor will be practically perfect.
Must become, or where the line is drawn. There are no easy choices. These are dark times. We have few allies.
Good to see you, Gal.
The odds are against us. And they will always be against us.
Now or never!
Seems our destinies are intertwined.
But I can tell you this. If there is any hope of surviving, we must stand against the darkness.
Burning rubber into the 10th position is Gran Turismo 7. It thoroughly earns its given moniker as the real driving simulator. This latest entry in the long-running racing franchise is the most complete to date, and a must-play for petrolheads. Across a variety of modes, you'll race on iconic real-world tracks in some of the most impressive cars in existence. And if you want to ensure your drive experience is exactly to your liking, you can even fine-tune many of the available vehicles, tweaking everything from tire grip to suspension level. The Gran Turismo series has always been one of PlayStation's most consistent and even more immersive, thanks to a free update that adds comprehensive PSVR 2 compatibility to the entire game, and this 7th mainline entry is another racer that comfortably tops the podium. Sneaking into the 11th spot is The Last of Us Part 1. It is from the ground-up remake of one of the most acclaimed PlayStation games of all time. While some may debate the necessity of remaking The Last of Us, when a perfectly playable PS4 remaster already exists, once you've seen this new version in action, that conversation becomes almost entirely moot. This emotionally charged masterpiece takes players on a harrowing journey through a post-apocalyptic world. With its intense storytelling, complex characters, and visceral gameplay, it's no wonder that fans continue to be enthralled by the haunting beauty of this sequel, and have held up remarkably well to this day, and remain utterly stellar.
Can it?
Once upon a time, I had somebody that I cared about. And in this world, that's good for one thing. Get you killed.
Care of myself!
How many close calls have we had?
I get into trouble down there. You make every shot count.
I got this.
Hope you know how to use that thing.
I've had some practice.
Venturing into the 12th realm is Demon's Souls, a remake that brings new life to the classic. Demon's Souls is the precursor to Dark Souls, and is a must-play for anybody who enjoys From Software's iconic brand of tough-as-nails action RPGs. It drops you into the dark fantasy world of Boletaria, where just about everything has the capability to kill you in just a couple of hits. And while it might seem overwhelmingly difficult at first, take the time to learn the game's various systems, and you'll be rewarded with one of the most satisfying gaming experiences on PS5. However, players stepping into Demon's Souls who have already enjoyed later Souls games should be wary. Some of the original's more dated elements are still present, and these often alienating aspects make Demon's Souls arguably the most esoteric game in the franchise. Enchanting its way into the 13th position is Hogwarts Legacy. It is the first non-mobile game set in the wizarding world of Harry Potter, and it turned out to be
I have a rare ability to see whispers of ancient magic.
Extraordinary.
It's a powerful magic that should only be wielded by a select few.
The path we're on is terribly dangerous. But I do not know where it leads. I've ensured that we have a moment to ourselves.
Let's even her odds, shall we?
We leave our legacy in your hands.
Bringing back the chills at number 14 is Dead Space. It is one of the most beloved survival horror games ever made, and it's been reborn on the PS5. This remake of the 2008 original makes the horrific sights and sounds of the USG Ishimura more disturbing than ever before, thanks to overhauled visuals that help to make this one of the most fear-inducing experiences on any console. If you're a newcomer, Dead Space casts you as Isaac Clarke, a deep space miner stuck on a massive mining ship that has been overrun with nightmarish creatures known as necromyths. And using repurposed mining tools, you've got to blast your way to safety while also trying to keep your sanity in check.
This transformation, it's remarkable. Don't you want won't be reunited. But the people you lost. Our homecoming will be truly divine.
There's still a way out for us. But we don't have much time.
At number 15 we have Stray, an intriguing tale set in a futuristic cyberpunk world, where you get to play as a cat, and due to this unique selling point, it has earned the game plenty of interest as players have delighted in the idea of taking control of an adorable kitty on a quest to find its way home. This adventure game has plenty more to offer than just pawing at scratching posts. Its remarkably detailed cyberpunk world is a real joy to explore, and there are tons of secrets to discover, and worthwhile collectibles to unearth within its rainy streets and grubby alleyways. Not to mention the entire game is absolutely stunning on PS5, currently serving as one of the best showcases of the console's graphical powers to date. Spider-Man Miles Morales is another web-slinging success from Sony-owned developer Insomniac. In this open-world superhero game, you play the eponymous hero a year after he's acquired spider-like abilities, after being bitten by a genetically modified insect, and you play as Miles, who has a suite of new venom powers to help him overcome the new threats emerging across the Sleepless City. You can play as solo, but if swinging solo wasn't enough, you can add an extra layer of excitement playing Peter Parker and Miles Morales as a dynamic duo. With the same cinematic combat and zippy traversal as its predecessor, Spider-Man Miles Morales may be mostly more of the same, so this is why we kept it at number 16. But that's not a bad thing when the base formula is this thrilling.
Or you can kill me. Your choice. People will get hurt. I can't let her take that chance. Ow! Not friendly.
Give me one good reason not to end you.
I made a promise.
So did I.
Surviving the horrors at number 17 is the iconic Resident Evil 4. It is still one of the most influential and celebrated games of all time, so it probably didn't need remaking, but we're extremely glad Capcom took up the challenge anyway. Playing as returning protagonist Leon S. Kennedy, you travel to an isolated Spanish village on a mission to rescue the president's daughter, who has been abducted by a mysterious cult, and its improved shooting mechanics, plenty of spooky moments, and a seriously impressive visual overhaul, has made the sequel even more frightened than it should have, which was an essential experience for horror fans.
I'm making cheap for you. Move! It's always like this with you.
How about you open fire instead of your mouth?
Long time no see.
Major Krauser? Why?
You can't save her. You can't save anyone.
What's gonna happen to me?
We gotta keep moving forward. We will beat this. Together.
Thanks.
Then come, Sancho Panza. Let us rescue the Princess Dulcinea.
You gotta hurt yourself.
Sorry, bad traffic. One combat chopper complimented Hunnigan.
Ha! Ha! This is kind of fun. Ahead!
You're kidding.
Yes, the time has come.
Like I told you. I'm gonna get you home safe.
ready to die, rookie.
Exalt all,
Leon!
and let it be so!
For number 18 we have the Final Fantasy. This franchise has never been scared of reinvention, and this 16th mainline entry. In fact, it's one of the most radical departures yet, with a more gritty tone and a reworked combat system that ditches turn-based strategy in fact of stylish real-time action. Making such significant changes was a gutsy move, but Final Fantasy 16 was the reinvigoration this franchise needed in 2023. The beautiful visuals and the slick combat are both big selling points, with epic adventure filled with magic, dragons, and unforgettable characters, but it's the story that really wows. People you meet along the way will help you in epic boss battles. So, Final Fantasy 16 is a must-play for franchise veterans and newcomers alike.
You're not the only one who's seen their world fall apart around them.
I thought I was ready for this.
I know, but we will face it together.
Good talker.
Let's shut him up.
I am a shield of Rosaria, and I will do my duty. Come on, Ifrit. Show us your true power.
For number 19 we have not other than Lies of P. It is a thrilling Souls-like that takes the story of Pinocchio and sets it against the darkly elegant backdrop of the Belle Epoque era. As for Steam Deck, I have listed it as the best overall game of the year, but it doesn't come near the PS5 games listed above, in spite of the thought-provoking journey and psychological thriller that challenges your perceptions. But it doesn't mean it's bad. The visual design is excellent, with intricate storytelling and fearsome bosses that tests the limits of your gaming abilities, providing a deep sense of satisfaction and keeping gamers on the edge of their seats.
Power beyond your imagination.
Come back to me, Carlo.
Lie to protect yourself.
You stole my sister from me, rotten puppets!
Be careful, clever one.
Concluding our list at number 20 of the best PS5 games of year 2023 is Baldur's Gate 3, this ambitious RPG playing this year. Comment down below and subscribe for more gaming updates and news.
Weave the very fabric of the universe itself.
How would you feel about helping me kill some evil bastards?
Blackith blesses me this day. Together, we might survive.
I'll enjoy watching you try. In mere moments, all that you have dreaded will come to pass. When the screaming stops and your mind is gone, the rest, perhaps,